was tired of sleeping with random guys, and then on the first date I do the deed. But it took some work. I mean, I put up with it, flaking 3 times. I deserved it, but we had a good time. I mean, she was a nice girl in the end, but she these chicks just have so much going on in terms of like they have so much dick coming at them, like from all angles, from guys in real life. Obviously less in real life, but Instagram, dating apps, messages, they're just getting inundated. So sometimes it takes a while to meet them. It definitely wasn't a textbook meetup, because like I said, I didn't, I wasn't salty when she flaked, but I got less and less respectful, let's just say, and more direct in terms of like what I want. And I was pretty much outright sexting her, so she really knew what was up. And I'm gonna, when I get less respectful, I tend to like turn them out. And what I mean by turning them out is like I get the truth out of them, like what they're really up to. Like, I'll ask them, how many guys have you slept with? Like, and a lot of girls don't get asked that question, or like they don't, because a lot of guys don't want to hear it because they're not willing to hear the truth. But I'm woke to that stuff, so nothing phases me. Play on Woro in the house. Good to see you. YouTube was down, so I don't know. Good, yeah, it's back up apparently. Everything was down for about half an hour, but it's back up. Good to see you in here, bro. I hope you had a good Monday here in Tokyo. There's nice weather here in Tokyo, but I also had a very interesting day today. I'll get to that a bit later, but yeah, that chick came around Friday night. That's why I missed the show. She stayed over. We had pretty much a ferocious nice night of hot sex. It was pretty damn good. And she was really thick, like in a good way. It's kind of unusual not unusual. There are thick Japanese girls, but they're kind of few and far between. Sometimes Japanese girls are like, too skinny, or they're very skinny. And it's not bad if they have some curves, but I don't mind skinny girls as long as if there's some nice curves. Sometimes there's skinny girls and they still have nice little curves. So I would say it's not really about the, it's more about the shape. So I can handle some thick, like big girls, like as long as they're not too big, but it's more about the shape. Like if a girl can be really skinny, but she can still have like really nice curves, and a girl can be kind of, some people might call them fat, but if they still have that kind of shape, because sometimes Japanese girls, they can be like, if they're bigger, they can, even you can, if they're fat, even they might not even have that shape. They just kind of have this bulky bulky, even they still don't have a shape. So, but this girl, I wouldn't, she was just a nice shape, in a very good way. Perfect ass, nice titties, very good girl. But yeah, so that was good Friday night, I have to say. And that led into Saturday, which is also a good day. Yeah, Google Playon says Google was acting weird. Yeah, it was all down. Yeah, Gmail was down, Google was down, YouTube was down. Seems to be back now. I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, Saturday MLD had a party, house party. His parties just keep getting better and better. They just keep getting really like good. like every time MLD has a party, there's like hotter and hotter girls come to it, and it gets more and more crowded. Um, it was crazy. Yeah, so I showed up at MLD's party at about 9. I think he kicked it off from 7. I went like at about 9:30, and I just went in, and there's just like the packed out house. Like just there was like all his windows were fogged up because there were so many people in the house. But I was just like blown away about how many hotties were there. I don't know where. I guess word of mouth. People are just hearing about that there's these parties going on, and it's just people more and more people want to come. But there were some seriously hot girls there. I don't know. Maybe you guys saw it on his live stream. Uh, Time traveler in the house. What is up? I am good. I'm just chilling here, just chilling. Had a chill Monday. Um, it was good. So yeah, I mean we we just went. I stayed out all night. It was like an all nighter. I wasn't home, so I stayed out till like 9. I didn't get back to my house here like till 9 a.m. the next day. I don't know. When I go out in Tokyo, it's not like you're not getting home until it's bright the next day, like fully bright. I mean, yeah, that's the way. Like I just because it's always there's always some other place to go. If you're just out, unless you get the ride and you bounce out early, which happens sometimes. You bounce out, you leave early because you got some you want to fuck basically. So no, but that I was just having a good time. So we had a good time at the party, talking to a bunch of hot chicks. There was like there were so many hot university students there too. There was two girls in particular, two really hot girls. Like they just were like I'd say they were tens. They were like some serious tens at that party. Like 21 years old, like perfect shape, like just beautiful face, perfect shape. Talking to them. I was talking to pretty much everyone there. It was a good time. Got pretty lit, and then we went to a club. Yeah, someone MLD had a. I don't. It wasn't even his birthday party, but some chick made him a birthday cake, and it had Japanese like yen. ML's face was on the bill. It's pretty lit, pretty gangster. It was pretty cool. That was a flex. He had his own birthday cake with maybe I have it. Maybe I took a photo of it. Um, it was fucking hilarious though. Uh, had his own cake. Yeah, like his face was on the bills. Um, I think I have a. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe that's a birthday cake with MLD. MLD's face was on it. Some chick got it made for MLD. That was a flex, but it was a good time. It was one of the chicks that he had that he interviewed on his show. Her name's Cassandra, but she went out and made him a cake with an MLD's face, and each bill had a different picture of MLD on it. It was pretty cool. Um, Harry Zikos in the house. What is up? What is up? Playon says, Mac, are you joining MLD to the States? Not this time. I'm gonna be staying here in Tokyo. I'm gonna be chilling in Tokyo. So yeah, maybe next time. It seems like too much hassle to go to the States right now, but yeah, maybe next time. We'll be good to get over. So yeah, we just got pretty late at the party. Then we went to a club in Tokyo. It's called One Oak. They have them in it's a chain. Like they have them in America too. But in Tokyo, One Oak is like kind of I mean, it's fun. It can be fun. I kind of like it and I don't like it. I don't, in a way, but you have to kind of be lit in there because it's almost like going to it's where all the Gaijin hunters go. It's Gaijin, for anyone that doesn't know, Gaijin hunter is like the girls that want to meet. It means Gaijin means foreigner, hunter means hunter. So girls that want to hunt Gaijin that like foreign guys. So that it's every girl that's pretty much in there likes foreign guys, but they're kind of like snobby at the same time. It's because a lot of them would have been let's say they've done the rounds, so they're kind of in that jaded phase. But I have a good time there. I've hooked up plenty of times there. I think I hook up almost every time I go there, but uh yeah, so I like it and I don't like it. In a way I don't like the vibe, in a way I do. I don't know, it's a love-hate relationship. Yeah, it's same with women, love-hate. But I had a good time there. Got pretty lit, you know after the night just got more and more ratchet. It just got more and more. So One Oak's pretty ratchet. Yeah, it's just I can't even remember too much of it. I don't know. I wasn't blackout drunk, but I had a few drinks. But we went to some like shady, like, I don't know. I kind of There's these shady kind of smaller clubs where they're just like really ratchet. Like for Tokyo, like they're pretty ratchet. Like the most ratchet guy foreigners go there. Yeah, seedy stuff going on, stuff that might not necessarily be illegal. I don't know, but anyway, I wasn't involved in any of that. But but anyway, there's it's yeah, it was good. There was hot chicks everywhere that night. Either there was hot chicks at the party, there was hot chicks at the club, there was hot chicks at even the smaller ratchet clubs. Um, but I just remember, I just remember in when we went to the after One Oak, we went to the smaller clubs, and yeah, there was these. I was chatting to these. Started dancing with these two South American girls, but they were born in Japan or whatever. So they didn't look Japanese. They weren't. I guess they're. I don't know what you call them, South American Japanese, but they weren't Japanese, but they were born in Japan. But these two South American girls, and they worked as hostesses, and they were pretty hot, and they were 20 years old. But at one point, I don't know, I can't even share the details of what went on. It's too ratchet, like it really is. I don't know, I'm embarrassed to talk about it there. But at one point, uh, one of the girls was dancing on me, and she was grinding on me, and she's wearing these like tiny little denim shorts, and it was just like it was insane. But I don't know, I can't even get into the details. But then her friend came up and was like was kind of grinding on her, so it was like a three-way. But I had my hands on the girl that was in front of her, so I was basically like, it was a good time, but it got a lot more city than that. These girls had no shame. But I don't know. That's kind of why I like nights out. You know, not only day game, not only online, because you can do stuff like that on nights out. Like you can't really get like that physical so soon. Like, I mean, uh, when you do day game or online or whatever. Night game is like immediate. Like when you're having fun, you can have and immediately kind of get sexual very quickly. So it's kind of fun, but they were just yeah, giving me a lot of booty in every sense of the word, and they had no shame about it. And yeah, it's funny. I don't know. We were hooking up, um, And then, I don't know. It's just like, I was just going around getting lines, dancing with chicks. I just really didn't care. Um, Harry Zico says One Oak is in NYC. Yeah, I heard that. Heard it's in NYC. Yeah. Um, Marcos in the house. What is up? Daniel Mendez in the house. What is good? Um, yeah. So I had a good weekend. So today, yeah, yesterday, I was just kind of recovery mode. Um, didn't one of those days where I didn't even have too much of a hangover. I don't know. Whiskey doesn't really give me. I One thing I've learned is whiskey doesn't really give me a hangover. I don't know. I haven't. I didn't. I didn't drink too much, but I mean, but just didn't know. I was just tired. But the thing that fucks me up about when I go on these nights out is like, I guess, like drinking energy drinks like Red Bull and stuff. So the next day you can't really sleep because you're just fired up, geeked up on Red Bulls or like energy drinks. So even though you're wrecked, you can't sleep. 'Cause you're just like, you've drank about 6 Red Bulls or like mixers or whatever. So I was just like chilling at home yesterday, kind of recovery mode. Um, but today was good. I had this chick with daddy issues today. Um, so yeah, know your worth in the house. What is up? What is good? So James S says it's the Irish in you. Definitely the Irish in me. You can take the man out of Ireland, but you can't take Ireland out of the man. Yes. So Harry Zico says vodka Red Bull. I think I was more like, I don't think I was mixing. I wasn't. I was up more. I think I was just on the Jack and Coke, and then I would drink like a energy drink in between. Um, yeah, I don't know. Vodka. I'm not a huge fan of vodka. Um, but yeah, today I had this chick with daddy issues around today. She was like a, a first year university student, and she was fun, but it was hilarious because she's 18, but it was the first time to meet her, but she came over at like 8 a.m. I was like, because she asked me, because we planned to meet today, and we did meet today, but so I was like, yo, we should meet. I wanted to meet her at night, or in the evening, or at least afternoon. But she said no. Like, can I come over at 8 a.m.? And I was like, why 8 a.m.? Because she still lives with her parents, and she was like, oh, I don't want to, I just want to, instead of going to university, she just wanted to come over here. But yeah, so I met her. It was really weird meeting her. It was the earliest I've ever. Well, I think that's the earliest I've met plates like that I've already met before, like early in the morning. Like, they just come over to my house real early, in certain circumstances. But this chick, first time to meet her, she came over at 8 a.m. I actually met her at the station, but it was so bizarre. Like, going to pick up a girl to hook up at 8 a.m. It was so bizarre, but play your life. That's what you got to do. Yeah, so it was funny. Harry Zico says Jack and Coke is a classic, but all that sugar, man. Yeah, I'm an ectomorph, so I don't have to worry about sugar. I don't know. You know, in terms of getting fat anyway, it's not going to affect my weight. I just don't care about that. some everyone's different though. Everyone has different body types. So Know Your Worth says, was that the one that sent you the salacious voice message? Yes, indeed, that was the one that sent the salacious voice message. It was yeah, she had really hilarious daddy. Well, I'd say sexy daddy issues. It was a good time. So I just spent, I think I just spent all morning like banging her. It was a very, bang, sleep, bang, sleep, bang, sleep, bang, sleep. So I worked up an appetite, and I just, yeah, I just spent the morning banging and sleeping. Great, good way to start the week, in my opinion. And she was uh, she was really keen, but yeah, she just sent me. She sent me. What did she say? So she when they really had a good time, like when you really leave an impression on a chick, like they'll message you like immediately, like on the same day, like immediately, or definitely on the same day or the day after. But she messaged me like immediately after she left, like, because I guess it's kind of a red pill to swallow, but like if you really go to town on a chick and like give her orgasms and like really, and they don't message you, that shows you that they're just used to getting getting like good dick. That's the truth of it. Um, that's the honest truth. But this chick's like 18, so I don't know. I don't know how much she. Although she does have daddy issues, there's only so much she can have experienced at 18. But I turned her out. Like I got the truth out of her. She has had some, like she's been with like foreign guys before, but not many. Um, and I think that is the truth. But immediately after, she was like, messaging me saying like, what did she say? Thank you for today, and I hope we can meet up next Tuesday if you're free. So she's already looking to meet up again. So that's obviously like, if a girl, when a girl messages you immediately after a date, they're really keen. Um, so I say, yeah, I had a lot of fun too, and I'll let you know about Tuesday. Um, so yeah, she was like, and then she said, yeah, I said, I'm glad you enjoyed too. And I sent her a wink. And then she said, it was the best. And I want to do it again and again and again. Yeah, that's the thing about these chicks, these 18, these young chicks, like they can go and go and go and go and go. They have a lot of sexual energy. And looking for her, I do too. So it was all good. But yeah, that was kind of a degenerate way to start the week. The best way to start a week, in my opinion. Know Your Worth says exercises, lots of exercises. That was a good workout for sure. So yeah, today I guess I was going to talk about how I know that doing game, especially Daygame, in this around this time, it's like an act of rebellion, because like every institution, every media outlet, even your governments are starting to like tell us that it's against they're trying to lock us down. They're trying to get us, put in all these new rules, regulations, closing the pubs, closing the clubs. Uh, you know, eventually we're going to need like consent forms to, like, have or like application forms to have a party in your house. They're really trying to control every aspect of our lives. MLD in the house says, no show for me today, guys. Feeling sick. Be back tomorrow. Stay and support Mac. Good stuff, MLD. Good to see you, bro. I was just talking about your party earlier, how epic it was. And every time you have one, there's hotter and hotter chicks there. It is a good time. And like parties in Tokyo are kind of rare. Like, so if you have a party in Tokyo, it's like a real status symbol. People, obviously word of mouth has gone around about MLD's parties, and just some super hot chicks going there. There was definitely a bunch of tens there, and it was a good time. But MLD's probably still hanging from the weekend. We were out. That was a proper crazy night on Saturday night. But back to the topic at hand. Harry Zico says, wish I could have partied with you guys. Yeah, definitely, man. Someday. Get over to Tokyo, we go hard. Every time I go, like I said, every time I go in Tokyo, it's like out till like till the next day. MLD says, got home 2 p.m. Sunday. God damn. 2 p.m. on Sunday. MLD has stamina, gotta be said. Has some serious party stamina. Sometimes I just, I fade out, go back home. But 2 p.m. next Sunday, the rollover. God damn. No wonder you're juiced out. But I got home, what was it? 9 a.m. on Sunday. But that was enough for me. Yeah, so I don't know, guys. Like I said, the governments around the world are trying to introduce more and more regulation, trying to cuck us, trying to like get us back into our homes, like spreading like all this crazy propaganda, stay home hashtags, this, that, and the other. Bill Gates, like with his crazy propaganda, saying that we're not going to be, basically, saying we might never be back to normal, even with vaccines. We're going to be, we're going to have to wear the masks forever, and it's just some serious bullshit. I am proud to say that ever since this has started, I have never even once worn a mask on a subway, and I ride the subways every day, every goddamn day. Gotta give props to MLD on this one. I mean, when this started back in, whenever, I don't know, when we first started hearing about it in like January, February, first words, I was on the fence, like kind of. I wasn't on either, I was kind of like, this is okay. I kind of believed that it was the beer bug was like real. I'd say I did believe it was real. But I was still saying I'm not sure, but I was kind of cautious. But even back then, I still didn't wear the masks. I just didn't. I was just like, I don't know. But MLD was like, from the get-go, this is bullshit. I don't know. I was just taking. If you remember back about all the Chinese propaganda that was coming through, so I kind of, I fell victim to that. I kind of, it's kind of understandable. I'll take that L, but by April, I'd say very early on, I became, very, very scared. First I was like on the fence, like maybe a little even more so, like, oh, this could be real, this is dangerous. Then it was on the fence. Then I was skeptical. Then I was like, oh, goddamn, like pretty soon, like much sooner than most people. But from the get go, MLD was like, like this is bullshit immediately. But I was right about one thing. I was right about one thing. I was right about this is like go. I was saying from the get go, from the very start, even if it's not real, even if the beer bug is like some bullshit like takeover part of a world, some kind of world takeover. I was saying that this is here. They mean business about whatever about if it's real or not. I was saying this is here to stay. I said that I was telling people that the Olympics aren't going to happen just because about how hard the propaganda was coming out. So I was right about that. At least I was right. They're not going to back down. And I was openly saying like I might be, it might not, even if it's not, or even if it is just like the beer bug, they're gonna get away with they're gonna fool people. They're gonna shut things down. I was right about that from the get-go. I was absolutely right about that. And at the same time I was saying I'm not sure. I don't know if it's real or not. But the Olympics didn't happen. I don't even know if the Olympics will happen next year. Let's see. Where are we at? Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think even the Olympics will happen next year. Let's see. I saw some, Fauci was, let me check the link, share the screen. So yeah, there's just all this propaganda, just trying to cuck us all. Fauci says, unless Americans take the vaccine, the masks need to stay on. So they're coming out with these kind of threats, even if you don't, even if they're saying like, even if you do take the vaccine, you still should wear the mask, things like that. And all these politicians, all these idiots, they've all been photographed, they've all been seen to be wearing not wearing masks at like parties that they've been at, Christmas parties, whatever. So like incredible hypocrisy, so it's just a load of shit, really. Where it says there's so much propaganda on now. There are more interviews of sobbing nurses than there are of actual doctors, making the sheeple move based on their emotions. It's exactly it. I mean, it's just so easy to get to these people. Like, they're constantly. You remember how hard, how thick and heavy the propaganda was at the start. There was. I remember seeing videos. The Irish media was the worst for it. They would interview someone's family member about someone who had died in their family, and it's like people have forgotten that people die, so they could just interview someone, some naive family member, emotional family member, about one of their parents dying, the elderly parent or whatever, and they can just the doctors or whatever would have diagnosed it as a COVID death, and they'd interview them on the news, and the kind of an emotional manipulation. So it's like you can't criticize it because you're so heartless, or you're so cruel. Like if you criticize someone, so they put you in this like catch-22 situation where like if you're seen to criticize something like emotional like that, you're seen as evil. But the reality is most of these people like would have died anyway, or who knows even if it even was a beer bug death because the tests are like bullshit, and people have always died. That's usually how people. That's usually how elderly people do die. They get some virus and that finishes their weakened state off. So these kind of naive family members get used used like just used up, um and that's just the way it is. They just completely get used by as propaganda props, and it's just sad to see. But it's also it's more frustrating to see because it's really it's extremely irritating because it's like, oh, you can't criticize it, or else you'll be seen as like a heartless like demon. But it's just annoying to see these innocent people getting used, and it kind of makes even not like the victims, because it's like, oh, you're falling for it. Like you're getting used by these you know these media organizations to push this propaganda. And they'd be like, please, like, please just stay at home, like, please just give up, crying and sobbing. And it's like, if you disagree with that, they know exactly what they're doing. You can't be seen to disagree with these people, because you'd be seen as a heartless lunatic or whatever. Yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah, Neuer says typical herd mentality. Feel sorry for Mother Nature doing her thing. Yeah, I mean, it's just we're all gonna die. It's not for me. I don't know. Some people might even. Some people, like, when you start talking like that, they get like depressed. Oh, don't talk like that. Don't talk about death, or But for me, it's kind of inspirational. It's kind of liberating, because the fact that we are gonna die, it's like it kind of inspires me to be more like free about how I live. Just throw caution to the wind. Just get the most out of life, kind of thing. We're not gonna live forever. Like, it's like before this beer bug. Yeah, you would think that we all lived forever and death didn't exist. We're just all these like immortal beings that just live forever. It's like, oh, like suddenly now, there's all these deaths, but there was always death. Like, literally every single person like have ever known will die. Everything will die. This planet will die sometime, but we're part of the universe. It's just doesn't depress me in the least. It's more like inspiring. It encourages me to be like, fuck it. Like, we're just given this time, just enjoy it to the most. And it's just all these cowards. Like, I think 2020, if 2020 has shown us 2020 has shown us one thing, and it's just how cowardly so many people are. Because I can kind of forgive people for being I can understand, because, like I said, I'll be honest, like, I started off with caution in January, February, moved to the fence, and even in January, February, it wasn't like, oh, like super paranoid. Like I said, I never wore a mask. I might have just washed my hands a little more enthusiastically, but still never was so scared that I would like cover my face and like yeah. But hands, and yeah, I was like cautious, like in January, February. Then I moved to the fence. Then moved to extreme skepticism. Then just like outright just anger, just like more like, holy shit, this is insane that they're getting away with this. yeah, it's just like kind of shock. And now it's still kind of shocking, like to see that they're rolling this thing out. The thing that worries me is the kind of how they're going to use the vaccine as a bargaining, not even a bargaining tool, but like it might be, you know, mandatory. And even if it's not mandatory, you might not be able to access you know, certain services or travel if you don't get it. You know, they're going to try and digitalize, you know, you know, they're talking about immunity passports. Some big airlines are talking about immunity passports or like vaccine passports. It's kind of messed up. It's yeah, I don't know how that's going to work out, because to be quite honest, I don't see enough people ever resisting for it to for them to stop. I don't see this stopping. I don't think there's going to be a great awakening. I don't. Unfortunately, I just think there's too many dumb people out there. There's way too many dumb people out there. I don't know how that's going to work out. I actually think they're going to get away with it. I don't think people are smart enough. We'll see. I don't know. There's too many people willing to just that are outright willing to, that actually want to take a vaccine, and then there's people who kind of don't want to take it but will take it just so that they can, you know, get on. Maybe they think they're going to get more, you know, get back to normality. And then there's like just very few people who will just not want to take it. Kind of crazy. Time Traveler says death in a way is almost kind of relieving. Yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, I mean, in a way it is. I mean, if you're young and, you know, it's kind of if you had something for eternity, even if it was like a pleasurable thing, if you did, you know, you can't even comprehend how long eternity is. So imagine you were like eating your favorite, you know, your favorite dish. You know, imagine eternity, and it's gonna be like the most hellish thing. You're gonna like be so indescribably hellish to have to eat the same thing for eternity, because eternity is so intensely long. We can't even wrap our hands around that, the concept of eternity. So, you know, even anything that, you know, the concept of just an eternal time in human form, in with our human brain is, you know, it's an impossible concept to imagine. You know, it's so yeah, I mean, you know, just live life to the max, and then, you know, it's kind of the great equalizer. At the end of the day, we all go back to the same state as we were before we were born. That's my personal belief, is we go back to how we were before we were born. No pain, no pleasure, just kind of a peaceful blackness. Like, and that doesn't depress me in the least. It's almost like it's a peaceful state, and we all go there. So it's nothing, you know, it's nothing to be afraid of. But yeah, it seems I don't know they're gonna keep rolling out these crazy this crazy propaganda. I heard there was some NHS commercial terrifies children by showing Santa dying of COVID. See, that's an insane. That's so blatantly, you know, that's a blatant propaganda piece there, and it's a really, it's just so ridiculous. It's kind of like, you know, you can't. What do you say to that? A television commercial for the NHS terrifies children by showing Santa Claus wheeled into hospital on the verge of dying from the beer bug, because frightening kids is definitely what the good guys do. The advert celebrates NHS staff and volunteers by showing them nursing Father Christmas back to full health so he can deliver presents. Entitled The Gift, the ad shows paramedics giving Santa oxygen as he looks to be at death's door while being transported to a medical ward. As one nurse asks, "Is he responding?" These propaganda pieces are so stupid. I mean, but most people, they get through to most people. Most people, lap that up, probably crying watching it. It's crazy, but yeah, it's crazy. Bill Gates is the most suspicious motherfucker ever. It's just kind of a power. When someone becomes like the richest person, then that's not going to be enough. Then they're going to want more and more power. So it's all about power now because he already has the money part down. So billionaire vaccine pusher Bill Gates wants local businesses and services to remain closed with lockdowns, masks, and social distancing continuing throughout all of next year and into 2022. That's insane. Really insane. Crazy stuff. Imagine this going into, imagine all of 2021 was this same kind of thing where, people, like businesses, people's lives are just on standstill. Time Traveler says, people use the children as leverage to get what they want. It's disgusting. Yeah, children and old people. It's like, someone please think of the children, or someone please think of the elderly. It's like, okay, right. It's just crazy. Let's see. Let me see the video.
People in California are right now under brand new stay-at-home orders as hospitals there risk being overwhelmed. There are a lot of governors who oppose bringing back these lockdown orders and forcing businesses.
Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear that. I've never played video on this stream before. Not sure if you can hear that. If you can hear the video. So can anyone actually hear the video when I was playing it? Okay, you can hear it. All right.
To close, what do you think? Do you think more states need to consider taking that kind of drastic action and the kind of drastic action we saw when the pandemic first began, or can there be a more nuanced approach?
Well, certainly mask wearing has essentially no downside. They're not expensive. Bars and restaurants in most of the country will be closed as we go into this wave. And I think, sadly, that's appropriate. Depending on how severe it is, the decision about schools is much more complicated because the benefits are pretty high. The amount of transmission is not the same as in restaurants and bars. So, trade-offs will have to be made. But the next 4 to 6 months really call on us to do our best, because we can see that this will end, and you don't want, somebody you love to be the last to die of coronavirus.
When do you think life will fully return to what we thought of as normal back in January? No masks, no social distancing, no other protective measures necessary.
Certainly by the summer, we'll be way closer to normal than we are now. But even through early 2022, unless we help other countries get rid of this disease and we get high vaccination rates in our country.
So yeah, he goes on like that, but he says certainly by the summer, things will be more, back to normal. but that's what they do. They tell you, yeah, it's just a mask, it's just a vaccine. We're just flattening the curve. All this kind of stuff. So they kind of like boil you alive. See, they can't introduce things like just suddenly. It needs to be like slow, incremental. Because that's like I said, like boiling the frog alive. That's what's happening. They're bringing in these new rules and regulations like slowly. They tell you, it's a temporary law. They're bringing in a temporary law. MLD shared a link there, so I'm gonna see if we can share that. Let me see. Okay.
Good morning. Hi. How are you feeling? Take your time. Take your time. Got you. Almost worth is hiding in those weak and broken hearts. Have what you can manage. Kiss the girls and make them cry. Those hard-faced queens of misadventure. God knows what is hiding in those weak and sunken eyes. Fiery thrones of muted angels. Giving how you doing? Someone's popular. People help the people, and if you're homesick, we can say your hand and I'll hold it. Look after yourself. Merry Christmas. People help the people, nothing will drag you. Amazing. Is this for me? Thank you for everything you've done for all of us. Santa. I'd be cold as a stone and rich as a fool. Turned all those Christmas, everyone! Look at all these presents. You did this. Santa. You think Santa came and did it? I'd like to think so.
It's so cringeworthy. It's when to think that most people are they'd be emotionally moved by that. That just makes me angry. It's so cringy worthy. It's just people buy into that. It's a joke. But I've seen so many interviews. I mean, usually I can't watch them, when they're interviewing someone's family member who has died, like from this bear bug and supposed bear bug. But in fact, it's probably just whatever, a natural death, or just Mother Nature taking its course. Chris says masks have no downside. What about the false sense of security they give people? People don't social distance when they have a mask on. They just act like the mask is a magical force field. Those masks are, wearing a mask all day is like wearing a dirty rag on your face. When you see, especially when you see children, about the way children pick stuff up, even adults, anyone really, but they pick stuff up, they touch the mask, they put stuff down, they put the mask on. I've seen some people chewing the mask, and it's so disgusting. Like, they're chewing. It's so nasty. You look at the mask and it's wet. They're wearing some dark color so you can see it. It's wet just from the moisture, it's just such a, you're more likely to get sick when you're wearing the mask. They're only supposed to be worn, like, masks where they're supposed to be worn in certain situations, like when medical experts, for dentists, so they don't like get like physical spit. You know, they don't spit into open wounds or things like that. Actual debris coming out from their mouth. They're not worn to stop the spread of viruses. What was it? Someone said it's like trying to if you're wearing it thinking you're going to stop a virus, that's like trying to scoop the ocean up with a sieve, because like viruses are like microorganisms or whatever. It's not going to save you at all. Uh, Time Traveler says, I'm just glad to know that a virus is smart enough to know the difference between 6 feet and 6 feet and 6 feet 1 inch. Fantastic. Yeah, it's ridiculous. We have in England apparently you have to have a substantial meal if you want to go to a pub. So if you go to a pub and have a meal, then the virus doesn't exist. But if you go to drink, the virus is like, you're gonna die. Your whole family's gonna die. Young people are gonna die. It's a joke. Yeah, but MLD says you're still screen sharing, Boomer. Indeed, I am. I had noticed that, but who cares? Chris says when this first started, the authorities were saying the most important thing was not to touch your face. Now everyone is constantly touching the face to adjust the mask. Exactly. So you're more likely to get bacteria on your face these days because people are picking stuff up. It's insane. It's insanity. It's just a way to control people. It's nonsense. It's crazy. I love when I see some like old school, Japanese people are really like, I'm just happy I'm here. I'm happy I'm here because things are like, the only thing is they're crazy about masks, but not even that crazy. They all abide by it. I don't get shit for not wearing one, and never once have I gotten shit on public transport, anything like that. Sometimes when I go into a shopping mall or something like that, they give me one, whatever, I put it on, or else I can't come in. That's annoying. But I like when I see some old school, like old Japanese people that just like trooping down the street, like crowded streets with no mask. It's like, yeah, it's good stuff. There's a fruit and veg shop just around the corner from this house, and you must be like, there's this couple that work there, and they must be, and they're ancient looking. They look like they're in their 80s, but the guy is just so hardcore. He's always sits on a chair outside the shop and he's just smoking a cigarette, and you see him walking around the streets with no mask. I'm like, yes. You see these young weaklings, like these little twerps that putting on, saw some guy today. I was just going out to the store, and he was walking down the street and he saw me. He didn't have a mask on, and I thought he was like, oh, this one guy. Sometimes you see them, 1 out of 100 type thing, and he wasn't wearing one, but he saw me and then he realized he wasn't wearing one, and he went, oh, and he literally did that. He literally went, oh, and he jumped, and like, I'm not exaggerating. And he ran into the store to buy one as soon as possible. It was Yo, I don't know. Is it back again? Can you hear me? I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I don't know. I guess the if you can still hear me, I don't know. I guess I'll leave it on this note is that around around these times, like doing game, especially day game or any kind of game, out in the streets, especially is an act of rebellion. Especially against all these like everyone that's trying to cuck us, trying to put us down, trying to get us, to stay home, trying to get us to share like stay home hashtags. My God, imagine you were look back on yourself and you were one of those people that actually unironically shared a stay home hashtag. God damn, like you know what I mean? Stay home, like. But all I know is like, especially these days, when I'm doing day game, I feel like it's even you stand out even more. Like girls, like even the girls that will be, oh my God, you're not wearing a mask, or they're deep down they're kind of like turned on by it, because you're not a sheep. Like it's so easy to like stand out of the crowd these days by just not wearing a mask and like going about your life, uh, and not being cucked by the system, just living your life as you always did. um so it's, you can stand out a lot easier. I just feel more, I want to do game more these days because I'm being told I'm not allowed to do it. I'm told I'm not allowed to do it by feminists. I'm told that I'm not allowed to do it by governments. I'm told I'm not allowed to do it by other like beta guys. Everyone's telling me I'm not allowed to do it, but I'm gonna keep doing it, and I'm gonna keep getting laid, and I'm gonna keep having a good time because there's going to be one day where I'm not gonna wake up. I could wake up tomorrow. It could, I might not wake up tomorrow. Who knows? But I'm just gonna keep living my life to the fullest, and you guys should too, because you're gonna refuse to be cooked by this new world order that's just trying to take away our freedoms incrementally. Not going to happen. You know, I'd rather go to war. I'd rather than like have my life, freedoms taken away from me. Um, I'd rather like fight it. You can fight it by just living the way you did before this beer bug came around. So just see it, as an act of a rebellious act to approach chicks, try and get laid like you always did. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. But wherever you're at on this Monday, have a good day. I will be back tomorrow with more player life stories, more breakdowns. So as usual, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification, get those notifications, and I will catch you guys tomorrow night. Hopefully there's no YouTube problems tomorrow night. I'll be on time. So have a good one, guys. Peace out.